Yeah, have some really, really unfortunate news for everybody. If you haven't had a chance to catch Raw and you're reading this headline and you're wondering what the hell is going on, well, this isn't a storyline. This is not BS. This is real life. According to Joe Anoa'i, Roman Reigns himself, he has been diagnosed with leukemia. According to his speech, I missed the first part of his speech. I should start. Raw opened with Roman Reigns coming out with the Universal title in street clothes. I'm wondering why. There were rumors that he was injured. I believe Robbie Fox of Barstool Sports reported that Crown Jewel might not happen just because there's a lot of backlash and whatnot. Plus Roman Reigns is injured. That's what he heard. So Roman came out, and I thought he was going to announce that he was injured, and instead he took a left turn from what everybody was thinking and talked about how back in, I believe, '08, he was diagnosed with cancer, with leukemia, and it's been in remission for a long time. He kicked leukemia's ass, and man, I don't think it's gotten him teared up watching a wrestling show since what happened to King 6 years ago. But he got on and he talked about how, unfortunately, his leukemia is back. And he has to obviously vacate the Universal title. He has to go back home and beat this sumbitch. And he said he will be back stronger. And, in that moment, I just thought, holy crap. Like, much like all you, I thought, you know what? Like, here's a guy who's busted his ass, who's worked really hard, who, whether you like his wrestling personality or not, that's honestly irrelevant. I think all of us can agree that he's always been a very hard worker, very dedicated worker, seems like a great family man, has always been an upstanding citizen. I had nothing bad to say about Roman Reigns, the worker, and Roman Reigns, the person. And, all that other storyline stuff, that's all dictated through Vince McMahon. So anyway, he made this speech. It is real. And afterwards, he left the Universal title on the canvas. The crowd was extremely respectful to him. People were in tears. Hell, I was in tears. I was watching on my way from work on the bus. I just got to my car. I'm messed up. And then what really got me was when Seth and Dean came out and gave him a big hug, and both were visibly shaken up. And that's when you knew that this was real. That's when you knew this was real. And They did their shield pose, and they said goodbye to the fans for now. And what do you want me to say? Really unfortunate. So let's start with the obvious. First things first. The best wishes to Joe Anoa'i, Roman Reigns. May God bless you, brother. I don't know if you guys believe in God or not, but whatever you believe in, just send your best wishes to Roman Reigns. This shit's no joke. I mean, I know people close to me that have had cancer. I'm sure at least one person here is watching, knows somebody that's dealt with this shit, and it sucks. And I don't normally curse or whatever, but it's just awful. So it's bigger than wrestling. God bless Roman Reigns. I'm praying for you, man. And I hate to be critical of WWE during this time because I'm sure they'll take care of him financially, and he's obviously been taken care of financially, pretty well as a top guy, but. I just wish they would have maybe left this for the end of the show. I feel like it was kind of inappropriate to do at the beginning. Not because, Roman Reigns wasn't heartfelt and compassionate and genuine, because obviously he is, and he's going through this real life thing. But, I feel like right now this almost is like he made his speech, and in some way, I have a feeling they're going to tie it to all the matches. Like I watched the speech, and then after the commercial break, they cut to a graphic that says that the Shield, Rollins and Ambrose, are facing McIntyre and Ziggler for the tag titles. And they said, after what happened tonight, I'm paraphrasing, but Michael Cole said something along the lines of, after what happened tonight, can Ambrose and Rollins be of frame of mind to capture the tag titles? And to me, that was kind of, I'm not hating on Michael Cole. I know he's produced by Vince McMahon, but, we're all human here. Okay, the show can't just go on. I've talked about this before when Liv Morgan got knocked out and they didn't stop the match. I've talked about this before when, that unfortunate, heart attack incident happened with Jerry Lawler years ago and they didn't stop the show. I'm not saying you should have canceled tonight's show, but, if you're going to have a kind of announcement of that magnitude, of that real life magnitude, listen, let's keep it real here. I'm praying to God Roman Reigns gets through this, kicks its ass or whatever. But, you don't know how bad this could be in regards to his life. This is real life. And you expect us to sit our asses down, whether it be live or on TV, you know, watching at home, and care about your storylines, like, this stuff's fake. Okay? This ain't real. You know, I don't care who's Universal Champion. You could hand the Universal Championship right now to Jesus Christ. I won't care. That doesn't matter. A man is fighting for his health, fighting for his life. That's what matters. And I just think it's kind of inappropriate to trot him out there at the beginning of the show and then just go on like, you know, your merry way. And I don't know. Look, it's a horrible situation. I'm sure, you know, there are people in the back that probably debated when Roman Reigns should come out and make this announcement. You know, but I just, you know, I'm not hating on management or anything. I just think maybe we've seen this far too much from Vince McMahon. It's like, oh, well, you know, we'll make the big announcement. You know, show must go on, you know. King had a heart attack. That's awful, but show must go on. Somebody gets concussed in the middle of a match. Let's keep the match going. And I don't know. I feel like they could have done a better job with this. I think they really dropped the ball. Again, I hate to criticize because I know it's a sensitive situation, but it's not just sensitive to, you know, the fans. It's sensitive to the wrestlers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. And look, maybe the Shield will capture tag titles. They'll make it a nice moment, and they'll give Roman Reigns that moment with his brothers at the end of the show. I guess they could do that. You know, it's pro wrestling, but I don't know. If it were me, I would have just left it at the end of the show, give him the spotlight at the end, make him the main event, tease it's a big announcement, obviously, and, you know, go from there, kind of similar to Daniel Bryan's retirement speech. But pray to God Roman Reigns pulls through this, does his thing, and, you know, at the end of the day, forget wrestling for a minute, okay? F wrestling. Let's just pray and hope that he can live a normal, healthy life. Whether he can wrestle again, I think at this point is irrelevant. I think that's irrelevant. What's important is that this man's got a family, he's got a wife, he's got a child. Let him take care of that. So before I go, let me read some of these comments here. New York Mets fan 2006 says, this is so sad. Hopefully he kicks Leukemia's ass one more time. Yeah, Alexander says it's the saddest stuff ever. This is a kick in the nuts. Yeah, man. LWA says, I hope Daddy ain't BSing us. They aren't, but like I said, I wish they would have saved this for the end of the show to give him the proper spotlight that, you know, the announcement of this magnitude deserves. I mean, obviously this has broken the internet, but, you know, it sucks, man. It feels so bad. It doesn't make sense that he had leukemia for 11 years. It does make sense. I mean, I know people that have had, you know, that have dealt with cancer for years, and, you know, I mean, freaking, look at Matt Cappotelli. Matt Cappotelli, former WWE developmental talent, tough enough winner. I mean, had a really terrible stage of brain cancer, you know, defeated it once or twice, and, you know, eventually came back, and, you know, I don't know. I just want to keep things positive, and I just want to say that Roman Reigns, man, I wish you the very best. It's crazy we've never heard about his cancer diagnosis until now. That just goes to show you, you know, I guess he didn't want a part of his story. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, he's a freaking warrior. He's a freaking warrior, you know. And it's unfortunate, you know, we had to hear about this aspect of this courageous part of Roman Reigns' past life, you know, under these circumstances. But, you know, if you didn't already know that the dude was a warrior, if you didn't already know he was a good guy in and out, if you didn't already know that, you know, he's going to knock down every obstacle in his way, now you do. So, what can I say, man? Joe Anoa'i, praying for you, man. May God bless you. May you kick cancer's ass. And, you know, I can speak for the entire wrestling community on YouTube here that, you know, we will, you know, we'll be pulling for you. As for WWE, for the love of God, please do your best to not exploit this, Vince McMahon. This is real life, and you know, sometimes the storyline's got to take a back seat, and this is one of those times. So, will I be watching Raw? Probably not. I think I'm just gonna go to sleep, send a real prayer to Joe Anoa'i, and that's that. Until next time, everybody, enjoy the matches, and God bless Roman Reigns.